of the Committee on Finance, Subcommittee C, is hereby called to order. I would like to acknowledge the presence of Senator J.B. Ejercito and other members of this Committee on Finance who will be arriving in a little while. This morning, we are going to tackle the proposed budget of the Department of National Defense and its attached agencies, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Government Arsenal, National Defense College of the Philippines, Office of Civil Defense, Philippine Veterans Affairs Office, Veterans Memorial Medical Center, and the Special Purpose Fund for the revised AFP Modernization Program. May I would like to yield the floor to Senator JB if you have some opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning to the DND and AFP family. Anyway, Mr. Chair, I'm just a very brief opening statement. I'm here, of course, I've been very supportive of the DND and the AFP modernization, and I just have some concerns upon reviewing the budget of the armed forces, especially on the modernization. So I would like to ask later on, Mr. Chair, nagulat po ako kasi yung mga priority programs ng AFP modernization, a big chunk is in the unprogrammed, no? Ang nasa unprogrammed. Para sa akin, Mr. Chair, kung priority programs natin, dapat po nasa line item. And because of the precarious situation in the West Philippine Sea, all the more that we really have to prioritize and give importance to the Armed Forces of the Philippines Modernization Program. Matagal na nga po tayong na-delay. Horizon 1, Horizon 2, delayed na. Horizon 3. Diba? Nasa external defense po tayo dapat ngayon because of the situation. But because of these cuts and nalagay pa saan program ang karamihan, I am very concerned, Mr. Chair. Again, just to be clear, hindi naman natin inaambisyon na tapatan ang China, which is a superpower. But again, our aim is to achieve that minimum credible defense posture, yung pong hindi naman tayo binabastos. So again, I am here, Mr. Chair, because of that concern, of those concerns, that medyo nabahala lang ako kasi nga because of the situation, dapat nga mas lalo nating pinaprioritize, no? From 245 billion that is being asked by the armed forces, 75 billion lang po ang nasa National Expenditure Program. And of that 75 billion, 25 billion, Mr. Chair, is in the program. So I would like to ask probably our Chief of Staff, our DND Secretary later on, what will be the effects? Ano po ang magiging nito? Ano na naman delay ang mararanasan natin because of this? Naghahabol na nga tayo, Mr. Chair. Di ba? We need to procure those multi-role fighters, our modern frigates, corvettes, our missile system for as a deterrent to this aggression by China. Ano na naman kailan na naman natin to maasam-asam o mararating kung meron na naman tayong delay. So that's all, Mr. Chair. I'm here to support, of course, to support you also as the one who will define the budget of the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Department of National Defense. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor, Senator J.B. Ejercito. May I request that our COMSEC to please acknowledge our resource persons present today.
Thank you very much, sir. We would like to welcome the following resource person from the Department of National Defense and its agencies, including the Armed Forces of the Philippines. We have here Secretary Gilberto Teodoro, DND, sir. We also have Undersecretary Salvador Melchor Bimison Jr. We also have Undersecretary Pablo M. Lorenzo. We have Undersecretary Angelito M. De Leon. We have Assistant Secretary Gavin D. Edhawan. We have Assistant Secretary Arsenio Andolong. We have Assistant Secretary Henry A. Robinson Jr. We have Assistant Secretary Joselito B. Ramos. We also have Assistant Secretary Emmanuel Anthony B. Ramos. We have the Chief of Staff, General Romeo S. Browner. We have the Vice Chief of Staff, Lieutenant General Arthur M. Cordura. We have the CGPA, Lieutenant General Roy M. Galido. We have the CGPAF, Lieutenant General Stephen Pareño. We have the Flag Officer in Command, Vice Admiral Toribio Adasi Jr. We have the Commandant of the Philippine Marines, Major General Arturo J. Rojas. We have the Inspector General, Major General Agustin Malinit. We have the Superintendent of the Philippine Military Academy, Rear Admiral Cesar Bernard Valencia. We have the Commander of the Presidential Security Command, Major General Jesus Nelson Morales. We also have the Chief of AFP-SEO, Brigadier General Ivan Papera, Philippine Navy Marines. We have the Chief of the AFP PGMC, Brigadier General Joselito Lopena. We also have the Deputy Chief of Staff, J10, Brigadier General Francis Anthony Coronel. We have the Chief of the AFP Medical Center, Colonel John Dalagit. We have Captain Romeo Rosales, Philippine Navy, Jesse. We have the Administrator of the Philippine Veterans Affairs Office, General Reynaldo Mapago. We have Administrator Ariel Nepomuceno of the OCD. We have the President of the NDCP, General Ferdinand Cartujano. We also have the Director of the Government Arsenal, General Jerry Amate. We have
Absent. Saan? Mukhang hindi ko nakita.
Oh, nasaan na siya?
Yung pa naman palagi kong pinapalo up, tapos hindi nagpapakita. Mga tinutuyo ako ngayon Sige lang, baka darating yun mamaya. Darating yun?
Yes, sir. Nandito daw. Sinabi kanina, sir.
Andito pala.
Oo.
Sige. Continue. Kumsik.
Yes, sir.
Continue.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. We have the Director of PMMC, sir, Sir Franklin Gali, General Gali. And that's all, sir. The other officers are at the holding area, sir, when needed, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Kumsik. As a guide to your presentation, other than those in the National Expenditure Program, I would like to hear you discuss the following. Number one, utilization of your 2024 budget. Number two, your agency's accomplishments. And number three, updates on the revised AFP modernization program. For orderly conduct of today's hearing, we will first listen to the presentation of each agency before we entertain any question for the other agency. So, sino mauna? DND? Yes, sir. You have the floor, Secretary Gilbert Teodoro, sir.
With the permission of the Honorable Chair, honorable members of the committee. My presentation will follow the following sequence. First will be the major thrusts of the department, highlights of the proposed 2025 budget, our accomplishments, off-budget accounts, COA observations, and other relevant information. Sir, on the major trust, Your Honor, Mr. Chair of the departments, is divided into two: sovereignty and territorial integrity, and disaster resilience and climate change adaptation equally. And the sub-themes will be internal security and stability, modernization, capability and capacity development, cyber defense, and supportive roles, and not necessarily in the order presented, but equally important. Of course, the welfare of soldiers, veterans, and our civilian workforce. Security cooperation and engagements, reserve force development, and protection of cognitive domains to combat information operations of threat actors. On the highlights of the DND proposed budget, in accordance with the National Expenditure Program, we have a regular fund allocation of 254.1 billion pesos. 58% of the funding goes to personnel services, 147 billion. 31% or 80 billion to MOOE, and 11% for capital outlay. I would like respectfully request the honorable members of the committee to take notice of the 11% for capital outlay. 11% of the funding goes to general administration and support, amounting to 29 billion pesos. And 89% for operations, or 225 billion pesos. And there is no allocation for support to operations. The next slide will show the percentages of the budget based on the NEP according to agency, with the Armed Forces of the Philippines subdivided into its major service units and the general headquarters. So, Your Honor, the DND proper has 0.88 of the budget. Other civilian bureaus, 3.57% of the budget. Philippine Army has 49% of the budget. The Air Force, 19.6%, and the Navy, 19.3%. With the GHQ, AFP-wide service support units, and KBUs at 7.48%. This amount we wish to increase in the future because our major operating units under the area commands draw their budgets from this 7.48. The allocation per region, Your Honor, is shown. Region 11 has 6 billion. BARM has 18. 12, 4.9. And Region 4A, 20. NCR, 78. Region 3, 53. That is based, Your Honor, on the location of major operating bases. So it is in accordance with our strategy in the comprehensive archipelagic defense concept to bring out these bases. So it is also our strategy to fund this out in the future with the construction on capital outlay of major naval, air, and joint use operating bases. Next slide, please. Further shown is the DND's budget distribution by appropriation source. For regular fund, 254. Automatic appropriations, 4 billion. And the special purpose fund, 86. Divided into regular modernization fund of 50 and unprogrammed of 25. Pensions of 11.2 billion. These are only veterans' pensions. Only the veterans' pensions of the 5,000 old age pension and the like. That does not include the retirees' pensions. On the 2024 GAA compared to the 2025 National Expenditure Program, we have the increase of 6.61% or 15 billion pesos. Broken down as shown in the chart by expense class. In personal services, next slide, please. Thank you. There is a resulting net increase of 2.7 billion from the additional PS requirements of 6 billion. Less one-time implementation of programs in this year amounting to 3.5 billion. The 6 billion increment covers adjustments in pay and allowances, terminal leave, lump sum for filling up of positions, lump sum for creation of new positions, and other PS adjustments. Next slide, please. For MOE, we have a variance of 8.8 billion. Less the one-time projects amounting to 3.3 billion. The total 12 billion additional funding requirement is intended for support for equipment acquired out of RA, FPMP, and CO projects, expansion of existing programs and activities, additional requirements, and ICT requirements. For capital outlay, there is a net variance of 4 billion pesos. The effect of incremental funding of 26 billion and the reduction by 22 billion corresponding to one-time or non-recurring projects. It will be used for and badly needed for additional facilities, equipment, and works, expansion of existing programs, new programs, basically, Your Honor, new facilities and mobility requirements to support the capabilities that we are going to acquire. For example, we will have a total of 10 corvettes and frigates by the end of 2028. Additional, we do not have a dockyard yet, and we are busy working on getting a new naval dockyard and forward operating base. There will be a planned 3 of those per area, 1 in Luzon, 1 in Visayas, 1 in Mindanao, and in the future, 1 in the eastern portion of the Philippines as major operating bases.
In relation to that, sir, I was able to talk to the chairman of SBMA,
Yes, sir.
and I explored with him the possibility. Ngayong iniwan nga ng Hanjin na facility doon, sabi ko nga, instead of yung Navy natin is renting 1 billion,
1.1.
1.1 billion a year, why not hindi na dadaan dapat sa third party? SBMA, tapos Navy na lang diretso ang mag-renta. Pero sabi niya, it's legally impossible dahil yun nga, mayroon ng may-ari. May nag-assume daw sa property ng Hanjin. And so sabi nila, instead of mag-interest tayo doon sa Hanjin, baka pwede daw kayo bibigyan ng another area doon sa SBMA, within SBMA, for you to develop para hindi tayo magrenta na ganun kalaking halaga. Later siguro, buhusan natin ang capital outlay na malaki, then afterwards, MOA na lang magpapatakbo niyan ng
Yes,
siguro
sir.
mas mababa kaysa 1 billion a year. Yes, sir.
Your Honor, the suggestion of the chairman is well taken. As a matter of fact, we already have a presidential directive to talk to them firstly, the most important thing about the Hanjin is it is not suitable as a naval base. It is not suitable as a naval base because it is a dockyard. Secondly, it was built for Panamax vessels and not our naval vessels, so the dock is too big. However, we had identified an area which is suitable for a main operating base. We have gotten presidential approval to pursue the process of acquiring the area, and we hope to have it completed by the end of 2028, Your Honor. And I think the area to be vacated by the Philippine Navy can be leased out to other locators without any loss of income.
Thank you, sir. Senator JB, you want to add?
Mr. Chair, I happen to defend the budget of SBMA, no, and I also had the chance to go to the former Hanjin facility now being used for the as a naval facility. Medyo marami-rami pang pagagawa doon. As mentioned by the DND Secretary, it was not really meant to be a naval base, no? Talagang pang shipbuilding siya, dockyard. SBMA, according to them, will be willing to accommodate the Philippine Navy. Kasi po, Mr. Chair, Subic Bay is already a formal naval facility. May mga bunker na roon at lahat mga dating gamit na pwede namang it can be considered, but we will listen to what the Navy and the AFP would recommend, and be rest assured that we will support, no, kasi nga po sayang naman yung 1 billion that we are paying the third party now that is in charge of Hanjin. So we hear the need of the support, no, yung as mentioned by the DND Secretary. Hindi man pwedeng pagbili natin ng corvettes, frigates, yun na yun eh. We need the support facility, no, for those vessels and the new equipment that we will be acquiring. So siguro probably we can hear and probably send this committee yung pong proposed new naval base, no, that will be used for yung tatlong binanggit po ng ating pong DND Secretary, no, sa eastern, dito sa atin sa northern, and somewhere else, no.
Yes, sir.
And we be rest assured that we will need to subserve, of course, sa western area, no, dun sa
Yes, sir.
West Philippine Sea area. Be rest assured, Mr. Chair, that we will do our best to at least add to this. I am just worried talaga. I'm really worried ba, Mr. Chair, doon sa pagkat ng budget po dito for our modernization. Naghahabol na nga po tayo eh. Di ba? We are already playing catch up already, and there's no reason for us for the AFP modernization to experience further budget cuts because of the sensitive and precarious situation in the West Philippine Sea. So nakita ko naman po yan, Sec, no? At least napuntahan ko yung Hanjin. We had the ride there, yung ride for West Philippine Sea, and also SBMA. I happen to defend. Yaman, Mr. Chair, pag hindi sila pumayag, sila ang kakatan ko ng budget. Pag pumayag sila, dadagdagan pa natin ng budget. And we also put the necessary infrastructure
Yes,
in the SBMA now. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Your Honor, the President immediately agreed to the proposal because number one, the idea of paying 1.1 billion was contrary to his view. And secondly, Your Honor, the utilization of the Philippine Navy of the Hanjin area is only 25%. Because it's really not usable. But it is a matter of urgency because Fort San Felipe and Sangli Point are not practical naval bases anymore, Your Honor.
Likewise, Mr. Chair, doon po sa 1 billion, Secretary, parang because I saw how talagang bare na bare pa siya, ang dami pang napagagawa. we will be spending so much, sayang. So kung saan man yung ma-identify nyo, I would rather, Mr. Chair, that we pour all of these funds to that permanent base that will be proposed by the DND and the
Yes,
AFP.
Your Honor.
Diba? Sayang eh. So nakita ko talagang pang ano siya, shipbuilding eh. It's not really
Ayan, Your Honor.
for a naval facility. So sayang yung pondo na ginagasto doon. We'd rather shift it already to there. Ibuhos na natin para maging maayos.
Lastly, Your Honor, it's a positive net present value because the total lease payments until the end of the lease will be about 89 billion. So if you discount it, that's about 60 billion in today's money. And to build a decent base where we intend to move, maybe about 25 only.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Yes, sir.
Senator JB. You may continue, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Your Honor. For the regular fund, all DND bureaus received increases except for the GHQ, which we would appeal to Your Honors to increase because this go directly to the unified commands. We are now capacitating the unified commands really to be operating the major operational commands where we are now putting to task the major service commanders to be truly force providers and to stick to their role for supportability, training, systems, and capabilities. So I believe given the increased operational tempo of the area commands, we need some augmentation of the GHQ fund, Your Honor. The Philippine Navy received the largest increase of 7 billion pesos. The civilian bureaus, the NDCP, received the highest increment at 71%. But its budget was only 200 million before, and it was increased by 133 million. So the total budget of the NDCP at 340 million is still woefully inadequate to run an academic institution. The DND OSEC has the highest percentage increase of 0.97 billion, which is intended for the construction of the phase 2 of the new DND building at Camp General Emilio Aguinaldo. So, Your Honor, when it rains, we have dry heads and hindi po tumutulo sa ulo namin. Kawawa sir yung mga mista mo pag nababasa. Nagkakasakit po kaagad. Lalo na po si Dr. Edjawan sa tabi. The funding for the modernization increased from 40 in 2024 to 50 billion. The additional 10 billion provides for the program drawdowns of existing MICAs. Under the NEP, an unprogrammed allocation of 25 billion is allocated. Meron ko bang breakdown kung saan pupunta, no? Para maunahan na natin. The veterans' pensions have already increased by 403 million pesos for the old age pension of living senior war veterans. And it is due to the increase of the monthly pension from 5,000 to 20,000, as well as disability pension enacted in accordance with Republic Act 11958, which took effect on 24 August 2023. For the unprogrammed, as you would you indicated, Mr. Chair, they will go to cyber systems, weapons and sensor systems upgrades, frigate 2 systems, weapons and sensor systems upgrades corvette, ground-based air defense system support, FA-50 systems upgrades. Those are for MICA projects. Horizon 3 high impact additional FA-50 acquisition of 12 lots. Radar systems with basing support, 4 units. Full complement of 2 more frigates. PGM ready 155 howitzers. Integrated short-range air defense systems, landing craft utility, and other H2 projects, which are forward support equipment. So these are just bridging capabilities, Your Honor, for our existing capabilities. On the comparisons between next year and this year's budget, the DND budget based on NEP, this is for proper, is lower by 51 million. 51 or 16% compared to the original proposed budget. Based on this chart, the Philippine Army has the highest percentage of approved proposals at 93.44%, followed by the DND proper at 89%. For personnel services, the while the variance shows 14 billion, this includes the terminal leave benefits for optional retirees of the Philippine Army, amounting to 4 billion pesos, and the government arsenal of 600 million pesos. These benefits, no, I'm sorry, 60 million pesos, Your Honor. These benefits are funded under the Pension and Gratuity Fund. For MOE, 11 billion was not funded from the 91 billion pesos proposal of the DND. It's crucial, Your Honor, that we get funding for MOE given the increased operational tempo that we need to do for next year, plus support to COMELEC and disaster risk reduction for first quarter La Nina purposes. For capital outlay, 25 billion was not funded, 47%. The revised AFP modernization program, 245 billion was proposed to support the transition to external defense or territorial defense, to support the comprehensive archipelagic defense concept. However, only 75 billion is approved. The amount will cover 11 ongoing projects and 25 priority projects from the old Horizon 2 and 3, both in MICA and one-time payments. Go to the major accomplishments of the department. Your Honor, we achieved a 100% performance rating for accomplishing various policies, most important of which was the initial operationalization of the comprehensive archipelagic defense concept that included a lot of adjustments from operational security to skill sets to redefining operational techniques to command relationships and to upgrading our information technology and cyber systems hygiene and awareness. Also required a refocusing and sophistication of our appreciation of geopolitical events occurring within the Indo-Pacific region and the interconnection between conflicts external to the region and internal to the region, which have effects within us. There was a re-horizoning done to which took a lot of effort on the exercise in order to make our capabilities conducive to creating a credible deterrent posture against aggression. The AFP and the Air Force and Navy met their respective targets. For the Army, 81% of tactical units provided to force employers in prescribed readiness condition. That was the target. 14% was accomplished. It is due to the fact that our Philippine Army has difficulty in retraining, Your Honor, as you would know, because the Philippine Army troops are deployed. So I heard the other day the first reading in the House of Representatives a proposed bill to amend the 69 Republic Act 6795, I think. And I asked the major service commanders and the chief of staff to talk to their counterparts that we have a 10-year handover of ISO to the PNP. So it gives both parties time to transition. Because if the primary responsibility of ISO will be with the armed forces of the Philippines, the readiness rates of our ground troops will be marginalized because they are always deployed, Your Honor, whether for disaster relief and response, maintaining security, and other tasks that are required of them. 53% of ready reserve units are in readiness conditions. We also, Your Honor, that's why the numbers are like this. For the first time, the armed forces conducted an honest to goodness review and actual recall exercises of reserve units. Even small arms proficiencies were actually tested, and we came up with these numbers. And I'm very happy that the numbers came out because at least we have a baseline of where to start. And with this kind of working relationship where there is openness, we can remediate the needs of the units. The Philippine Air Force had 100% of tactical operations wings mission accomplishment, and 100% of naval units were provided in the to the operational commands. As for the GHQ, for the first semester, 54% of plans, programs, and policies are reviewed and revised. It's very difficult also to do so, Your Honor, because searching records is difficult in the GHQ. We are revising a lot of policies from promotions policies up to our health standards, Your Honor, to accommodate also the skill sets that require technical expertise vis-a-vis physical expertise. Because if we maintain the same recruitment standards for all, we will be losing out on getting the required talent that we can use for operating more sophisticated systems in the future. Even the age, Your Honor, we moved it already higher. Because if the commissionship age or the enlistment age is 26, we will be losing out of a lot of those who may decide they want a career after that age. So we adjusted it accordingly. So those kinds of policies are being reviewed, Your Honor, together with the command structures. Joint Force Operations programs, for the first semester, Your Honor, 54% were completed. On the second semester, since there are variable threats. I'm confident that they will be able to come up with the operational plans since the strategic guidance does not change. 50% successful security operations for the President, First Family, visiting heads of state, government, and other VVIPs. For the Joint Force Capability Programs, Your Honor, 51% of patients were treated returning to duty, and 104% of signed AFP modernization projects being implemented. We have already obligated 96% of the funds allotted under the program funds. The government arsenal, Your Honor, your field of interest. Diyan na ba yung bata?
Andiyan na, sir. Andiyan na. Andiyan na. Announcing the late arrival of the Yes, sir. Kuwan yan, sir. Masipag yan, sir. Masipag yan. Magaling yan.
We encountered issues, Your Honor, with the availability of chemicals and finished ammunition components, as well as shortage of manpower, particularly in the cartridge assembly and packaging division. There was a reduced output of small arms ammunition. Now also, Your Honor, they are very busy putting into line our capability to produce higher caliber cruiser weapons, which we also very badly need and are short. The supply chains worldwide for 105, 155, 60 mm, 81 mm, and 40 millimeter are in short supply, Your Honor, because of the conflicts in Europe. As a matter of fact, they're buying, Your Honor, from old stock, but we cannot.
Yes, sir. Before you continue, sir, may we know what is the percentage ammunition requirement of the AFP that is being catered by the GA, Government Arsenal?
33%, sir.
33%.
33%.
So the remaining around 67% is from private sources.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
There will be an adjustment, although, Your Honor, for small arms requirements for the AFP because we are reviewing the pistol to personnel ratio. There was a plan of 1:1. However, I do not think the AFP does not think that that is a good ratio because not everyone.
That ratio is for good for the PNP only, sir.
Exactly, Your Honor.
Pag ang forces, kahit ako naman, machine gunner ako, dami ko nadalang balam. Dala pa ako ng Glock dito. Bala na lang ng yung 60 dadaling ko kaysa Glock ang dadaling ko, di ba, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's correct. Thank you, sir.
Unless you are Yusek Mison.
Karga niya lahat, sir. Kaya niya lahat.
The NDCP achieved, Your Honor, 87.5% completion rate with the 21 out of 24 research papers submitted. All 65 students or 100% successfully completed the MNSA class 1950 of 59. In terms of the OCD, Your Honor, capacitating disaster risk reduction and management offices under the Civil Defense Enhancement Sub-Programs, 1,100 volunteers were capacitated, 1,576 LGUs submitted their self-assessment reports. The annual target for assessing local DRRM offices is 65%. Or 1,115 out of 1,715 provinces, cities, and municipalities. For improving the disaster resiliency of communities, the OCD accomplished 100% of its program targets for disaster management operations and completed 45% of the planned DRRM training programs and learning initiatives, or 129 out of 289. The PVAU, Your Honors, accomplished its annual targets for Veterans Welfare and Benefits Administration Program and the Veterans Affairs Management Program. For the Veterans Memorial and Historical Preservation Program, the PVAU continued to maintain and develop our national military shrines. There were 250,000 visitors to the shrines, or a 50% accomplishment rate. For quality care provided to veterans and their dependents, the annual target of VMMC is 11,100 for inpatient, and they accomplished 42%. For the annual target for outpatients treated and hospital discharges, VMMC achieved more than 50% of the target. It's also important to note, Your Honor, we are going to change the concept of operations of the VMMC and to convert the system into a veterans medical service, of which the VMMC will be the principal hospital. The aim, Your Honor, is to outsource and download medical care and services to the veterans. Right now, all the veterans, except those situated in areas where there are PVAU partners, have to come to VMMC. So, Your Honor, what the vision is, the VMMC will be the principal medical center. We will upgrade the facilities and capabilities, make it into a research center also, while downloading the services. It's also important to note, Your Honor, that the VMMC has been operating from day one without an operating charter by law since liberation. So we are busy crafting proposed legislation in order to regularize the constitution of the management scheme and the corporate existence of VMMC. On the financial accomplishments of the department, as of the first semester, Your Honor, our total budget for FY 2023 was 335 billion, including continuing appropriations, with a total, when we obligated 97.2%. While our disbursement rates are at 86%. On the financial performance during first semester of fiscal year 2024, the department's total budget is 337.746, with a total obligated amount of 177,342. That's for the first semester, or 52% was already obligated. The disbursement rate for the obligated is at 70%. We ranked number 8, Your Honor, among the different agencies and departments with the highest obligation rates compared to all the agencies of the government. Of budgetary funds of the DND are trust receipts, retained income, and interagency transfer funds. There is, for 2024, Your Honor, 2.6 billion is the projected receipt, while 3.5 is the programmed expenditure. As of the first semester, we collected 1.6 billion, while actual utilization is 1.17, with an ending balance of 4.688. On the COA, the AARs, covering fiscal year 2023, there are 271 audit recommendations for implementation. And the status were duly submitted as of the first semester, 126 were fully implemented, 87 partially implemented, and 58 to be implemented. On other relevant information to help the committee, Your Honor, the DND is transforming in our department. We want to file a new bill to create a new department that can actively manage efficiently the resources and agencies under us. Currently, we have an approved plantilla of only 320 people, and we cannot possibly continue to manage it efficiently with this kind of system. We also are constrained from hiring experts, subject matter experts, because of stringent civil service rules and regulations, and low SG levels that we have in our current legislation supporting the plantilla. We will also have to be very creative in hiring, as your honors know. A lot of subject matter experts, particularly in the IT and cyber field, will not comply with civil service rules and regulations because, number one, they may not have finished education, and sometimes their records may be questionable. But rather than leave them to be exploited by the dark side, might as well get them to work for the right side. We are also actively engaging in alliance building, Your Honor. So defense diplomacy is highest. We need our capabilities. We need our support staff. We need also our budgets in order to engage and to manage our engagements efficiently. The Self-Reliant Defense Posture Program, thank you, Your Honors, for enacting it. Well, as soon as we get it, we will draft the IRRs so we can get defense industries going on a sustainable and business case basis. The Rehorizon 3 of the revised AFP modernization program of 1.8 trillion pesos is what we need for the, and this does not include, Your Honor, infrastructure for the basics of the comprehensive archipelagic defense concept. In this connection, Your Honor, I have been talking also with the private sector in the financial services field, given the fact that there is adequate liquidity in our system, in our financial system, to finance sovereignty exercises such as this. The exercise being to allow local financing of acquisitions so that the loan for acquiring capital outlays can be a long-term loan syndicated among foreign and local financing sectors. The net effect will be a smaller annual appropriation, which we can fit with the MICA concept. So hindi mabibilaukan ang ating financial system. And there are several proposals. One is a 100 billion total modernization budget concept, and they will raise bonds, financial instruments to try to capitalize the amount. And there are other financial schemes, but it is also important that we talk to the Monetary Board to allow such kind of arrangements and our financial authorities. But that is a bright side because right now our financial system are ready, willing, and able to support the defense modernization requirements of the country. On enhancing disaster risk reduction, we are concentrating, Your Honor, on interagency coordination. And number two, information dissemination to the lowest level in the public so they can adequately prepare. And thirdly, Your Honor, it's our enhancement of training and capacitating local government units to be prepared in mitigation, in response, and our vetting of rehabilitation proposals, Your Honor, which is an interagency exercise. Just for comparatives, Your Honor, from 2015, our defense spending to GDP was only 0.7%. Our figures show that on the 2025 proposal, it will be 1.83%, an increase of 1.04 from last year. The minimum credible as of, let's say, 2 to 3 years ago was about 2%. That was assuming you had basic deterrence capabilities already. But now, even advanced countries are going to about 4% of GDP, particularly in Europe, where they are fast-tracking their defense build-ups for their own selves and to support Ukraine. Now, we go to a special topic, the BCDA, Your Honor. We have proposed that the BCDA income, of course, the first item on the BCDA is that the coverage not be expanded anymore. Because from the start to date, we have received only about 45 or 48 billion pesos. That comes out to 1.6 billion a year only. For the past 26 or 27 years, if you compute that 46 billion is not even enough to pay for the pensions of 67 billion of 1 year. So to me, it has been a failed financial exercise. And to repeat the exercise would not be advisable. Therefore, we propose that the BCDA share of the of the Armed Forces of the Philippines be redirected to helping the government pay for the pensions every year. And Your Honor, an interesting statistic also is our defense spending per square kilometer. It's 96,000 per square kilometer, including the archipelagic baselines. Also of note, Your Honor, we have to plan now, given the fact that the Philippines has submitted the position on the extended continental shelf on the western side of the Philippines. We already have to plan for increased operations in order to secure the extended continental shelf. LGU budget per square kilometer, Your Honor, is 1.228 million pesos. So that's just a comparative. The unfunded programs, Your Honor, for reconsideration in total amounts: Philippine Army, 8 billion. Philippine Air Force, 17 billion. Philippine Navy, 10. For the GHQ and AFP-wide service support units, 8. Government Arsenal, 1.5 billion. That's for an additional line. The National Defense College of the Philippines, 124 million pesos for MOE. Office of Civil Defense 490, PVAW 1,231,565, and the VMMC if of 2.3 billion because we based the budget on DOH budgets of equivalent hospitals with the same bed capacity, Your Honor. So our budget is lower than the DOH standard. For the AFP modernization program, Your Honor, and I realize that 1.8 trillion is uh, quite a tall order. So on our part, Your Honor, we're trying to tap private capital for this so that the government can repay in better terms. For Horizon 2, Your Honor, the remaining 76 projects, 34 are already on various stages of implementation, while 42 are still unfunded, Your Honor. And they stand the risk also of obsolescence. So we are also actively reviewing Horizon 2 and submitting for Your Honor's consideration and the President what we can do away with already. But I believe that we have already done an initial pruning of Horizon 2. And these are still the essentials because the continuation funding for Horizon 2 will complete the capabilities already acquired under Horizon 2. So, Your Honors, we thank Your Honors for the support for the programs of the Department of National Defense in the last year. We look forward to working with Your Honors once again for creating a credible deterrent posture for our country, creating more capabilities not only for deterrence but also for disaster risk reduction, and creating new skill sets and a new thinking defense specialist, defense medical specialist, and the new soldier and officer. Thank you, Your Honors.
Thank you, sir, Secretary Gilbert Chidoro, for the presentation. So from here, in other committees, the first to ask questions should be the chairman. But in this committee, the chairman will be the last to ask questions. So I would like to yield the floor to Senator JB Ejercito for his questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Anyway, we share the same goal and vision and support for the armed forces. Pareho din yung ating pong inaalala, no? Anyway, for the record again, ang defense spending natin for 2024 and 2023 is just 1.04% and 0.93% as mentioned by the secretary of the GDP, no? Wherein the ideal should be already 4%, no, given the situation that we have right now. Sa Europe, ganun po pala, no? Nasa 4% sila. Anyway, doon po sa ang target natin is 1.2 trillion para po makahabol sa Horizon 3. But my question, Mr. Chair, is that yung pong what is yung sa wish list po natin nasa 200 plus billion, what was approved was only 75 billion. My question, Mr. Chair, what programs will be affected, no? How will this delay further our Horizon 2 and Horizon 3 na tayo dapat programs, no? Probably the secretary or our chief of staff can answer. Ano pong
Who wants to answer?
cut nito nung itong approved?
Your Honor, the biggest items that will be affected are additional domain awareness like radars, additional multi-role, FA50 additional. Hindi, 400 yung kasama ba yun sa 225? Hindi, this year lang, hindi natin sinabi. Hindi. Yung 225 lang. Your Honor, just Your Honor, those that were excluded from the unprogrammed are the MRF aircraft. And part of that, Your Honor, is seeking adequate financing from the suppliers. Integrated shore-based anti-ship missile systems, combat engineering equipment, Your Honor, an additional lot for floating bridges. We already have acquired about two of these. So really important for our combat engineering operations and for HADR, Your Honor. They're able to bridge very easily cut-off areas, and they can also support crossing of our heaviest items of equipage. Aviation engineering equipment, Your Honor, and forward support equipment. Those are the 25 billion unprogrammed.
Likewise, Mr. Chair, last year yata, no, a portion also of the modernization napunta rin sa unprogrammed. Ang my question, because of that, na-release ba ho lahat doon sa unprogrammed? Yung pong portion na napunta sa pondong ito?
None, Your Honor. None
None.
has been released.
How much is that?
10 billion, Your Honor.
10 billion was not released.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oo. So, this year, we have another 25 billion that is unprogrammed. So, kung hindi na-release this year, hindi pa nare-release yung 10B. So, parang ano ito, Mr. Chair, parang pag nilagay mo kasi sa unprogrammed, para itong pangako. Kung meron, pwede. Pag may pondo, okay. Pero, Mr. Chair, I would support you in this, the pag-priority program should be always in the line item, no? Especially as what the Secretary has mentioned. These are really essential, especially in our situation right now. Naghahabol nga tayo, babawasan pa, no? So just want to, at least for the record, no, 10 billion pa yung hindi na-release, meron pa tayo next year na 25 billion.
Your Honor, para tayong naglulukuhan. Pag sinabi mo na priority programs ito, tapos, priority yan, priority. Pero ilagay natin sa unprogrammed. Ano tayong naglulukuhan pag gano'n? So, it's good you cite that, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, for the record of fiscal year 2023, no? Unprogrammed 5.3 billion, tapos sa AFP Trust 2 billion. 2023 to, almost 7.5 billion pa ang unreleased on 2023. For fiscal year 2024, ang total na program, AFP Trust Fund, unprogrammed, 16 billion. So yung sinabi ni Secretary, 10 billion was not released, 10 billion. May program, may na hindi pa na-release. So nasa 16 billion. So this will further delay our modernization kung ganito ng ganito. Tama kayo, Mr. Chair. What really puzzles me, Mr. Chair, yung mga sinasabing priority programs ng ating pong administrasyon, ating pamalaan, even in the infrastructure, no, I defend the DOTR, yung mga railway system and other modern transport, mga mga foreign assisted, nasaan program din. Hindi pwede ma-delay ito because we are already paying loans nalagay din po sa program. So this really puzzles me because of the situation, Mr. Chair, na hindi na we cannot anymore afford a delay in our modernization program because we are already late na nga tayo, naghahabol tayo, tapos malalagay pa sa program. So I will probably propound this again in the plenary, but be rest assured that I will support the chair, no, na paglaban natin na dapat malagay ito sa program to make sure. Nakakalungkot dito, ano bang uunahin natin? This AFP modernization, yung paghahabol natin, uunahin natin yung maliliit na project, but yung mga nailagay doon. Mas importante ba yung mga rock netting at iba pang projects? Because of mas importante ba yun dito sa mga kinakailangan ni acquire natin, multi-role fighters, frigates, missile systems. Baka pag magising tayo, Mr. Che, pag hindi natin nabili ito, yung China nandiyan na sa tabi natin. And there is no reason for us to delay this further. Dahil sabi ko nga, naghahabol na nga tayo. Di ba? Sec, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, naghahabol na tayo. Sa Horizon 3, we should be now focusing on external defense. I support you kung ano po, yung multi-role fighters natin, missile defense system, additional vessels, no? Yan ang makailangan natin eh. So I don't think we can delay this further. Because
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Your Honor. Hindi lang sa lahat ho ng bansa naghahabol because every year it is a race eh. So tayo, doble habol pa ang kailangan po. Thank you po, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Your Honor.
Doon po ko nalulungkot kasi nasa line item, mga small programs, projects. And these priority programs, yung transport system natin, AFP modernization, which I know that the President always mentions na priority to. Bakit po? Yun ang hindi ko malaman. Bakit napunta rin. And I will, I think we have to fight for this, Mr. Chair, that the AFP modernization program has to be all in the program. Dapat po nandun sa line item po ito. Sa Air Force, no, I understand that there is a need already for us to procure more multi-role fighters. Ilan ba ang kailangan natin? Or if there is a need for executive session para hindi po maririnig. Pero gusto ko malaman din ng China na talagang bibili na tayo itong mga ito.
Yes. Your Honor, the program calls for 36 plus 4 standby of multi-role fighters. And we are in the process of receiving tenders coupled with financing packages from like-minded nations that are supportable with the reliable supply chains, because that is the question now, Your Honor, the supply chain supportability and reliability of the supply chains. Many of our past sources of capabilities have supply chain issues. So the tenders are still open, Your Honor. We are being reviewed. Now, this will be sourced based on the financing package that they will propose and with the President's approval, Your Honor, for a bigger syndicated loan package like the one I said earlier, so that it is easily digestible. The problem is also, Your Honor, before we noticed the MICAs have a life of only 5 years. I was wondering why we have to pay for things in 5 years when we use them in 25 or 30 years. So we can spread that out. Secondly, sometimes before, there were schemes like no pay for the first 5 years, then you pay on the 6th year. But when you see the amortization on the 6th year, it's better to pay in the first year with a smaller amortization. So those are the parameters that are coming. The Air Force is naturally engaging with the proponents, Your Honor, and we are reviewing the proposals for financial supportability, supply chain reliability, and company reliability, a company due diligence, Your Honor.
Thank you, Secretary. But we are hoping that we can fast track those, no? Anyway, we had the chance also, Mr. Chair, no? Nagbisita kami sa mga interparliamentary visits sa France, Italy, and others. They are offering, they really would want, well, alam naman natin gusto na tayong bentahan ng mga equipment, but they are offering, maganda yung sinabi ni Sec, no? That we have to find out the most practical and the most, yung pong pinakamagaan siguro na financing. In fact, doon po sa naval group, napunta ho kami doon, they're offering submarines and other vessels with an 18 to 20 years payment. So probably if we can find those, no, for our MRF or multi-role fighters, which we need badly, no, I think we really need those this time. No, 36 yung kailangan natin. So we haven't decided it, no, pero siguro kung yung mga American, kung F-16, kung Gripen, or Rafale is also offering, no, sa French. Hopefully, bilisan natin, no, para Typhoon also. So, magkakaroon tayong defense show dito. Pinuntahan na nga namin yan, na former Senate President Mig Zubiri, so that at least we know that what we are funding, no, at least makita naman natin. And I can just only, I have to admit, Mr. Chair, na naiinggit ako, natutulo laway ko, naiinggit ako pag nakikita ko in actual, no, yung mga multi-role fighters, and hopefully one day we can really have, and be rest assured that sa DND family and the AFP that kami po ni ako, and I'm here really to support our chair. We would want really to put what at least yung minimum ano natin, defense posture na kailangan, at least yung medyo ano lang, no. Siguro kung executive session later on, kung ano yung kailangan yung sabihin, I'll be glad to support. Yung missile systems, no, nabanggit po ni Secretary, these are all essential. Yung po sa ano, sa Navy na lang, bago po si Foyt, bago magre-retire na sa November, no? We now have joint patrols with our, ano, no, medyo mas frequent na yung joint patrols with our right-minded nation allies. But I understand there's a problem, no, with communication. Napunta pa ako doon sa ano sa naval facility. Nakausap ko yung mga officer natin doon sa ating pong frigates. Minsan dala-dalaw daw yung equipment nila. No, ano nga po yung kulang, Admiral
Your Honor,
Adasi? Yes.
executive session.
Okay po.
Yeah.
Sige. We can we'll just hear that, no, para at least
Yes, sir.
magkaroon tayo ng better interoperability and coordination
And
with
that
our
will be addressed soon, Your Honor.
Yes, that's good. Okay, so we'll just
Executive
wait for
session.
that. But that will cost that will ano, please submit to us also, prepare the cost of having those system communication and manage CMS that will be needed to upgrade, so that we can include it already in the budget. Okay, so Mr. Chair, siguro that's it for me. I will just wait for the executive session so that we can discuss all of these things in detail.
Thank you, Your Honor, Senator JB. Sir, you said a while ago that compared to European countries, they have 4% at least of their percentage of their GDP goes to defense spending. How about yung ating mga ASEAN neighbors like Vietnam particularly or Thailand? Ano kaya yung kanilang percentage of GDP going to the defense spending?
Vietnam, Your Honor, has about 3.5 to 4%.
3.5 to 4.
Thailand has about close to 3%, Your Honor, because the capital outlays have already been done by Thailand. Actually, they have 100 multi-role fighters, Your Honor. And this was built up through the years. Singapore has a very high GDP to defense to GDP spending. Indonesia has a high spending, but per GDP it's about 2%. But they plan on increasing the percentage, Your Honor, given the fact that they want to harden their naval capabilities.
Siguro, Senator JB, I think from the SAIWAR point of view, tama rin siguro yung lagay dyan sa program. Palakyan yung program kahit hindi magagastos para mag-reflect sa ating defense spending to the GDP, baka sabihin na, Philippines, umabot na ng 10%. Yung defense spending pala nila. So matakot ngayon yung China. Tapos ngayon kung dumating yung gira, hanapin ngayon ng China yung mga bomber nila, hanapin nila yung saan yung mga naval base na titirahin nila. Maubos na yung gasolina na sa kakahanap, wala sila makita. Hanap sila kung saan yung titirahin nila, bubumbahin nila ng mga naval bases, mga air bases. Kasi 10% na malaki na yan. Wala sila makita. Maganda yun. But,
Mr. Chair, if I may interject with your indulgence. So, among ASEAN sa ASEAN pa lang, huling-huli rin tayo, Secretary, no? Lahat sila nasa 3%, 4%,
Yes, Your
2%, tapos tayo 1%, kulang-kulang 1% pa eh.
lamang lang ho tayo sa Laos and Cambodia.
Ang Malaysia, I'm sure they are spending a
Mataas
lot.
po.
No?
May
Mataas
submarine
din.
capability yan.
Yeah.
And for a population of about 22 million, they've been spending quite a lot, Your Honor.
And Mr. Chair, I will support you on this. No? If we can really increase our ratio of GDP to yung spending ng ating pong AFP modernization, no? If we can increase it, we are here, no? Because not because nag-ano tayo, but because of the situation that we have right now. Tayo nga ang binubuli ng China, tayo pa ang pinakamababa. No? Tayo na nga ang pinakabinubuli ng China among the ASEAN nations, tayo pa ang pinakamababang spending. Parang ano yun, parang hindi yata tama. We need to really catch up, no? Sabi nga ni Sek, lahat naman nagka-catch up, pero tayo yung malaki-laking hahabulin eh.
At least tayo, Mr. Chair, attempt to catch up. Puro attempt attempt to catch up. But anyway, we will do that in the plenary. Sana kung aabot ito sa BICAM, kausapin natin yung ating mga counterparts doon sa kabila na mag-adjust tayo. It's a tall order. Alam natin yan. Tall order, sir, di ba? But at least mag-attempt tayo. From our side, from the Senate side, we will attempt to increase the defense spending. Sir, mayroong mga questions lang dito para in preparation sa ating plenary para handa tayo pero modernization, then yung Horizon 3. Yung nga, para masagot natin yung what are the key differences between the original Horizon 3 plan and the revised Horizon 3 in terms of budget allocation, prioritization of equipment and scope of modernization. There's a note here that President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. has approved revisions for Horizon 3 of the AFP modernization program. According to the Defense Secretary, he added that the Philippines is starting a new defense concept called the Comprehensive Archipelagic Defense Concept. Can you expound on this, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir,
Horizon 3 was still founded on the threat scenario of a land-based invasion. How to deter or counteract a land-based invasion. But it did not envision the ability of iwanan mo na doon sa ano, munang galawin. The ability of the country to adequately secure its exclusive economic zone and other areas where we have jurisdiction. There were also interoperability and connectivity gaps due perhaps to the staggered implementation of programs, Your Honor, and obsolescence of the old programs. So, Your Honor, we decided in capabilities to introduce foundational capabilities for building up for introducing additional platforms in the future. So we start, Your Honor, with our Your Honor, please instruct your Mr. His finger is very, very naughty.
Anyway, sir, anyway,
He keeps on fingering the computer, Your Honor.
we can discuss that in the executive session. Yung kaya lang natin, anyway, tumatanong nito, kayang-kaya ko nito hugutan sa plenary. Board work lang ito, board work. Board work lang ito sa plenary, Your Honor. Kuwan na lang, sir. Ito lang, yung
Yung
the current, sir, yung current status of communist insurgency in the country, particularly on the recruitment of minors in schools. Kasi recently, dumagsa na naman sa akin yung mga parents na nagreklamo na yung anak naman nila, missing, hindi na naman nakauwi. Nandun na, sumama na. Hindi alam kung nasa underground pa or nasa kabundukan na, nag-armas na. Hanggang ngayon, hindi pa lang malukit yung mga anak nila. Can we have
CS,
can we get a
Your Honor, CS.
report on
will
that?
answer.
Yeah, go ahead, CS.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sir, there has been a downtrend in the recruitment of especially students. This came after during the pandemic. Dahil wala na, sir, face-to-face na klase, nabawasan yung recruitment. However, after the pandemic, medyo nag-start na naman yung recruitment nila sa mga campuses. But we have been able to address this. Meron pa rin, sir, may nare-recruit pa rin sila, but talagang halos konti na lang, sir. Maliit na lang yung percentage na mga nare-recruit nila from the student sector, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, nakailang hearing na tayo, these recruiters sa mga schools, they're already identified, may mga mukha na, may mga pangalan, kung sino ito sila. Yung investigation ba ninyo, hindi ba kayo umabot sa punto na mapaila ng kaso itong mga recruiter na ito in relation to the Anti-Terrorism Act? Yung inyong legal dyan, mag-coordinate sa IDG at saka yung task force NTF-ILCAC. Kung napailan na, may mga mukha na ito eh. Kaya ito namimihasa, itong mga recruiter na ito, recruit ng recruit, may mga mukha na, may mga pangalan na, nasa eskwelahan pa rin ngayon, nakikita. Hindi kasi napapailan ng kaso. Please, coordinate with the proper investigating body, si IDG, NBI. Di ba mayroon magiging cluster sa NTF-ILCAC na nakatutok dito
Yes,
sa
Mr. Chairman.
legal offensive.
Yes,
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 kasi
Mr. Chairman.
namimihasa itong mga tao na ito dahil wala nangyayari sa kanila, hindi sila hinuhuli, hindi kinakasuhan. Kaya ngayon, may mga parents na naman na umiiyak na hinahanap yung anak nila dahil itong nang bibiktima, itong mga recruiter na ito. May mga pangalan na tayo sa mga
Yes,
hearing
Mr.
natin.
Chairman.
Please
Yes, sir.
coordinate.
Your
Yes, sir.
Honor, I will undertake to also help the armed forces on that. Our experience in the past was a lot of cases were dismissed because of inadequate case preparation and inadequate case gathering. So in this case, it is not only exploitation of minors, but human trafficking that probably can be the focus of evidence. So we also had a lot of seminar workings to transform the arrest into crime scenes, Your Honor, so that the admissibility of evidence is not compromised and there will be no problems with the security convictions. We've had a lot of cases, Your Honor, dismissed. No? Then again, we'll instruct our LLA to coordinate with our AFP lawyers, Your Honor.
Yes, sir, but you made a considerable success in your legal offensive in the case of yung congresswoman na party list na konbiktado sa RTC ng trafficking of minors, si Franz Castro. Congresswoman Franz Castro of ano yung party list niya? ACT party list. ACT party list. Konbiktado siya. Joint efforts yun ng military at ng police yung trafficking of minors niya. So cases like that will encourage our operating troops na hindi pala nasaya yung effort natin. Konbiktado yun. Kahit yung congresswoman na yan, konbiktado ng trafficking of minors. So, I am encouraging you to do that dahil namimiyasa talaga yung mga recruiter na yan.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we will do that, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Wala na, pang boardwalk na ito. Kaya na ito sa boardwalk. Wala na kung dapat siguro yung tanong ito.
But Mr. Chair,
Yeah,
before
go ahead.
if I may add, no, at least ngayon naman po hindi gone are the days already na yung ginagamit pa na AFP. May improvement naman but we need to just add some more, no? At least hindi na tayo gumagamit ng mga hand-me-downs, mga vintage Vietnam era Huey helicopters, no? Nagkaroon investigation yan dati, wala pa kayo noon, yung first term ko. Di ba, yung mga huli, yun yung mga huli. After that, we stop para at least mga bagong mga Bell na, ang mga Bell 412s, and ito na yung mga Black Hawks. Hindi tayo bumibili. Sa Navy, sabi nga ni Foyk, pag meron joint patrols, hindi na tayo nakakaya, hindi na World War II vintage. No? At least, hindi na tayo nakakaya, pero kulang lang. Kailangan lang natin dagdagan siguro. And then we hear you, and mahirap man, pero pag tulungan namin kayo ni Senator, we will help, no? I'll support Chair Senator De La Rosa. Hopefully, if we can increase it, sabi ni Secretary Teodoro, kung maging 2% man lang, malaking bagay na, no? Yung ating, from 1% to 2%.
Malaking bagay po yung 2% because dun ho rin ibe-base yung MOOE natin for maintaining and supporting the equipment and our supportability for operations, Your Honor. Actually, malaking tulong ho yung 2%, lalo na ho sa Navy para yung presence ho natin sa West Philippines, paikot-ikot, consistent, strategic yung presence.
Siguro, Mr. Chair, we'll just ask kung meron kayong magka-call, if you will call an executive session, so
Yeah.
that we can discuss in details, not in public. At least we'll have a better appreciation of the needs. At least mas alam natin. Siguro sa Navy, sa Air Force, ito yung mga external natin. We will do our best, Secretary, sa ating Chief of Staff at sa ating officials, that we'll do our best, no, to try to at least kung maabot natin yung 2%, but hindi, no? At least we have made headways, pero kulang pa rin talaga, no? May kukulangan tayo, but we will please prepare yung mga talagang essential. Siguro, Mr. Chair, yung wish list in order of priority, yung talagang kailangan, ganun ginagawa natin, kailangan yung talagang hindi pwedeng mawala. Tapos in according to priorities. Siguro ganun po, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Senator JB. Yung sa retirees, how many pensioners are we expecting for 2025? Why is that the NEP approved budget of 84.318 billion is higher than your budget proposal of 75.233 billion? Ngayon lang ata mas mataas ng ang DBM approved budget kumpara sa naging request nyo. Bakit tumaas ito?
Sorry, Reggie.
Ito lang in-request ninyo, then tinaasan ng DBM yung in-approve. Ano ba?
Your
Yeah.
Honor, the DBM decided to retire some arrearages that we owe for the differentials. So inagahan po nila by 4 billion pesos na ibayaran na po ang utang sa adjustments doon sa old age and veterans pensions and pension adjustments po. So nagbabayad po sila ng pagkakautang.
So nagbabayad ng
Nagpauna na
pagkakautang.
po sila.
So that is the rationale behind.
Yes, Your Honor. Nagpaluwal na po sila.
Iniisip ko na baka mamaya magiging PhilHealth kayo ba na malaki yung hindi naggastos at the end of the year, hindi magastos ito, kukunin na naman ng national government yung magiging reserve nito.
The differentials, Your Honor, were accrued from 2000 to 2013 differentials. So, release na po.
So wala na tayong problema niya, sir, ha? Yung mga reklamo ng mga retirees,
arrearages, sir,
mga
meron pa.
differential.
May matitira pa ho na arrearages na konti. Yeah. Pero at least ho, nasa service unti-unti.
So yung mga retired dyan, ha, ng mga sige reklamo sa Facebook about their differentials, may nakahanda na pondo dyan para next year. Sir, itong sa ating mga reservist, alam niyo mayroong magandang, may nag-post doon sa Facebook, mga patatanda na reservist, 65 years old, 70 years old. Ako, Ibanag, ako, Ilocano, reservist, ready to fight, mga ganon-ganon. It generated a lot of following, ang daming nagka-interest ng mga civilians na nagsasabi na, sir, kahit na matagal pa yan ma-approve yung ROTC, mandatory ROTC bill, kami ngayon, kahit hindi kami graduate ng ROTC, gusto namin mag-reservist. Na-encourage sila doon sa mga nag-post na gano'n eh. It awakened their patriotism, yung kanilang fervor. So, nagtatanong doon kung saan daw sila, paano daw sila magiging reservist. For the record, para ma-share natin sa mga tao kung sino bang, saan sila pupunta. Yung mga gusto maging reservist ng mga tao, mga Pilipino. Saan sila magre-report?
Sir, sa mga RCDGs po ng Philippine Army. And then yung Air Force Navy ho, magta-target na lang ho ng pagkukunan nila ng reserve centers nila. Pero ang pinaka kalat po ang Army RCDGs. Si General Galido ho can respond to the chairman's query.
Yeah, for the record, para ma-share natin sa mga Pilipino na gustong maging reservist, saan sila mag-report, anong kailang gagawin. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, good morning. The concept of the Army in developing its reserve force is focused on geographical, so per municipality and per province. The CDCs, which is a province-based in accordance to RA 77, siya ang contact person. But in organizing the reserve, we have the standby reserve and the red reserve, primarily nakabase sir sa munisipyo. And then province, then RCDGs by region. So all provinces, meron tayong CDCs where they can go there to submit their intentions to be reservists.
Age limit.
Sa standby reserve, walang age limit po, sir. Yung ready reserve, may age limit po tayo dun, sir.
Kaya nga, may mga 70 plus years
Yes,
old
sir.
tayo
Sa
doon, di ba?
standby reserve,
Standby reserve.
they will be very contributory doon sa community mobilization when it comes to territorial defense.
Your Honor, may I propose?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Starting the DND anniversary in October, in November, leading up to AFP Day, why don't you launch a massive information outreach program for calling the reservists and go out so that there is information, and it's also a good exercise for you to go down to your reserve units and potential reserves, if that would suit the pleasure of his the chairman.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Government arsenal. Ano pang kulang natin, sir, para matapos natin yung ginagawa natin dyan? Kasi every year, meron akong ini-insert dyan na pangdagdag sa'yo dahil gusto ko talagang hindi tayo maubusan ng bala pag nagkagira. So, ano pa yung kailangan mo, sir?
Sir, primarily, we're trying to beef up our primer facilities. We are also in discussions with several foreign partners to actually establish manufacturing facilities for ammunition in preparation for the acquisition of defense equipment, sir. We just need to build more warehouses.
Okay, sir. But as of now, nagpo-produce na tayo ng primer, no? Okay ka na? May
Yes, sir,
primer na?
but a very limited capacity yet.
Limited
hanggang-
capacity.
These are mga 58 million primers lang tayo at this time. When the requirement right now is around 100. Just as Secretary said, we're only responding to 30% of the ammunition requirements of the entire armed forces.
Kung dagdagan natin yan, how much do you need?
Sir, for the principal, sir, last year we requested for 120 million for a loading assembly machine for the primers, sir.
May sinayad ka sa akin na problema na hindi nag-match yung machine na okay na yun? Na-match na ninyo?
Yes, sir, hindi po nag-match yung budget dun sa
Ay,
machine.
budget pa lang hindi nag-match.
Yes, sir.
Hindi pa lang machine.
Yes, sir.
So, magsabi ka lang para matapos natin yan. I am very much interested on that para hindi tayo mahirapan sa bala.
Yes, sir.
At saka yung ating, yung ating bill na yung defense, hindi,
Defense Economic
Reliance,
Zone, sir.
defense program, defense program. Then, dyan ilalagay sa inyo, banda sir, malapit. So, ay special defense economic zone.
Yes, sir.
So, dyan yan ilalagay, malapit sa inyo. Pag marami na dyan, marami ka ng kapitbahay, makatulong sa'yo. Baka transfer of technology or ano para i-improve yung ating capability.
Mr. Chair, with
Yeah,
your
go ahead.
indulgence, we in line with the self-reliance defense posture that we just passed. I remembered years ago, no, that we used to manufacture our own M16 to the Ilisco na wala po yun. Hopefully with the SRDP, we can do the same, no, na I think that we have the capability, hindi lang because of procurement limitations, nare-restrict ang pag-procure natin ng ano ng arms, no, especially both short and long firearms. Siguro anybody can answer yung pong mga gawa, 'di ba, yung mga Fair France, yung mga gawayan ng dapat Pilipino yan no, and other local manufacturers, are they can they be used? Kaya ba natin yun? Subpar, are they at par with other arms manufacturer? Kaya ba? Kaya lang because of the Mr. Chair, yung pong sa procurement natin, na hindi makabili tayo ng local kasi it will support our local industries. At the same time, I think kayang-kaya yung mga gawa dito. Kaya naman Anybody can answer?
Ako Mr. Chair, Your Honor, ako may own opinion. Yung per France na produkto ay kaya yung lumaban sa HK. Ako, I am rifle user Mas maganda yung per France. At saka yung ating gawa ngayon ng arms core, malayo yung ibang produkto diyan na imported. Kahit na sabihin mo yung Israeli made na mga rifles, kakayanin ng arms core natin. Pero ang problema lang, kung yung procurement law ay siguro naayos naman siguro natin yung procurement
Yeah,
law.
with the passage of the amendment to the General Procurement Act, I think it is possible. But siguro IAP, anybody, if that is can you bibili ba tayo? Sige, Sek.
Your Honor, we can for renewal, but our long arm inventory in the armed forces is already it's almost all complete. What I view the value added for the armed forces, for SRDP, is actually on higher capabilities. And that's what we need to do. Yung small arms, so the technology in there is, actually the supply chain problem for long arms is steel. We still have to import because we don't have a steel industry in this country. And that is the major source of all of these. Now, for Fair France, I happen to got to talk with them. They never participated at all in the local defense market. That's why their market was the United States and others, precisely because of 9184. So it will, Your Honor. They can compete in small arms, definitely. Definitely. It is just the quality of the steel which they have to import. That is why, together with the self-reliant defense posture, two other things need to be done. One is to have a steel industry so that we will be producing steel-hulled vessels. Secondly, we don't have a problem with the hulls. It is the combat weapon suites that you put in there, which is really important, and that's the capability that we want to develop. Secondly, Your Honor, all these self-reliant defense postures, unless we subsidize them, are dependent on business cases, business case viability. The number one variable cost, which perhaps makes or breaks an operation, aside from research and development costs, is power cost. So we have to also introduce, in line with this, affordable power. Even baseload, Your Honor, of whatever nature, no. But naturally, the small arms requirements, which probably would be more in the field of force protection for our troops, we can be addressed by SRDP. But what we would want to see is higher technological and asymmetric capabilities that we are going to produce, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anyway, sir, yung ating handicap, pagkukulang natin dyan na kayang-kayang diskartehan yan ating mga sundalo. Mga very resourceful yan. I can just remember, if I may share with you, nung tiniente pa ako, walang available na mga helicopter na magsusuporta sa amin. Alam mo ginawa ko, sir? Yung eroplano na mag-spray na saging, sumakay ako doon, may dala ko isang basket na granada, nakuha ko yung location ng NPA, pinalipad yung eroplano pag-spray na saging, pinaghulugan ko ng mga granada. Bomber din yan, bomber, di ba? Boom, boom, boom! Isang basket na granada yung pinaghulog, boom, boom! Hindi ba nagalawin yung eroplano na pang-spray ng gasol ng saging dahil hindi ba yun Air Force? Hindi tinitira ng NPA ngayon. Dito sa inyo. Kaya-kaya ng mga ating mga tropa yan sa field. But anyway, sir, meron ka pang tanong, Senator JB?
No, it's nice to hear from our secretary, no, yung mga ano natin, no. The circumstances that we are in right now, nakalungkot lang, no, because of that, yung pong ating steel, wala tayong yung national steel natin, binenta natin noon, parang ang dami nating self-inflicted wounds, no. These are very basic. So yung mga yan, cost of power, energy, lahat po yan are intertwined. Somehow it will also affect our AFP pala, yung capability, yung ating pong self-reliant defense posture. So at least marami tayong narinig ngayon, Sir Chair, that things that we really have to give focus on, no? Hindi lang po ito power, steel industry, hindi lang pang AFP ito, pang ating transport din sa mga relays natin at lahat, kailangan. So yun, I'm hoping that this time around we would make the same mistakes, no? Yung mga self-inflicted wounds dati, dapat hindi na natin maulit.
Thank you. Ito na, sir, before we close, meron kayong 221 billion na unfunded. Baka ito lang, wishlist lang natin, no? Can you please release this in order of priority, kung saan yung priority nyo na kailangan talaga natin na mapunduhan in order of priority para tingnan natin kung paano natin ito madiskartehan sa plenary, sir.
We will comply, Your Honor, Mr. Chair. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you for that. So, meron pang gusto magsalita? Okay na tayong lahat? Senator JB? Can you move for the...
Yes, Mr. Chair, like you being a supporter of the Armed Forces, the Department of National Defense, I move that the budget that the Department of National Defense, the Armed Forces to the Philippines be approved in this committee and be submitted to the plenary.
There is a move from Senator JB Ercito for the approval of the budget of the DND family at the committee level and be forwarded to the plenary. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the budget of the DND and the AFP is hereby approved. Thank you.